All right, sweet. So it is working. All right, cool. Let's just pop open this one. Make sure we are good. It says we're live, but I want to wait until I actually see myself. All right, we are good to go. All right, you good to go?
Yep.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Movie Backlot Podcast. My name is Steven. This week I have Alexander, as always. No Dylan this week. Alexander,
Yep.
how are you doing?
Doing all right. Just living. Not much to say.
Sweet. Pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Movie Backlot Podcast, which every week we get together, discuss movie news, trailers, box office numbers, what we saw in theaters, and at the end of the show, we like to tell you guys what's worth your money on Blu-ray this week. You can find us on every single platform via podcasts, where podcasts are available. You have iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, pretty much anywhere that your podcast services are available, you can find us. Just look up Movie Backlot
Anything
Podcast.
but SoundCloud.
Yeah, I don't know how to get us on there. I think you have to pay to be on there. I have no idea how that works.
You have to pay to get unlimited stuff, which I don't. Which it's probably not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Podbean. I don't want to buy two different things for it. So,
In fact, like for my podcast stuff, I'm considering just moving my stuff to YouTube because it's free.
yeah, I mean that is where we record every single week over here. So, pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about a bunch of news today. We got some Jumanji stuff, some young Han Solo stuff, a bit of Michael Keaton news.
Basically, anything announced at CineCon we have.
Yeah, shit. I think I have a lot of. I mean, I have a lot of that stuff. I don't know if I have everything. Hopefully, I have everything from CinemaCon or CineCon, however that's called. And
Yeah.
every single week, we start off the show with the box office numbers. Try to give you guys what the box office numbers were, what our thoughts were on it. This week, to no surprise, The Jungle Book was number one. It made $103.6 million.
Damn.
And I think that's pretty good. I mean, I'm not sure how the other live action Disney movies of their Renaissance or whatever the hell they're calling this new
Okay,
reboot central that they're doing.
Well, I happen to have Box Office Mojo up right now, and I can. Shut up, Jarvis. Recording a show. That's my phone. I actually have it up right now. So, for opening, okay,
I want to say Alice in Wonderland is probably still number one, just because
it is. Alice in Wonderland opened with 116 million.
for some reason.
This is second.
Oh wow,
And,
really? Beat out Cinderella. Sweet, interesting.
Yeah, Cinderella is last
How
in
much was
terms
that?
of these movies.
How much does Cinderella make?
67 million opening.
Yeah, so 103.6 million. I actually right now this is tied for me with Cinderella because I actually like Cinderella a lot, and I also really enjoyed this one a lot. I feel that the changes made in this one were better, and I feel that this is I'm gonna say way better movie than the original animated series. And I know that's probably blasphemous and what's wrong with you, but to
Not
me,
not
it's-
really, because the original Jungle Book, while Disney does consider it to be one of their like Disney classics that they put in the vault, it's really one of their lesser movies. Not many people really talk about it. And I didn't see Cinderella, and
really good.
probably because
and I
like
hate the freaking Cinderella cartoon or animated movie, and I like the live action.
I mean, because it just doesn't really interest me. But this is Jungle Book is the only one where it's miles better than the animated one, which I enjoyed the animated one to points, but it's pretty forgettable because you have Alice in Wonderland and Maleficent, which were just two giant middle fingers.
Yeah, I don't
I have no idea why we have another Alice in Wonderland coming out.
because it made a lot. I think it's like $1 billion movie, right?
It is, unfortunately.
So your review for A Jungle Book will be up sometime early this week.
Yeah.
Give me you literally just walked out of it like maybe a couple hours ago. Walking
Yeah.
out, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really liked it. Huh?
Okay.
Um, I thought it was a very impressive looking movie. Like in terms of like movies where it's fully CG, but it's not technically an animated movie, like something from Pixar. I think this was probably the best since, along with stuff like Life of Pi and Avatar.
Interesting.
Um, as I said, I thought it was better than the Disney one or the Disney animated one,
I
since
agree.
this is Disney also.
There's only
It
one
runs
part
a
that I
little
didn't.
too
There was
long.
only one part that I didn't like that was didn't that felt out of place to me. And I mean, I guess I'll mention it. The King Louis singing part felt out of place to me a little bit. Um,
Hmm.
just just weird because they did a good job with the bare necessities one. That I felt that was
Yeah.
natural. When the King Louis thing, I was like, why is he singing? This is weird.
It's funny.
It
It's funny you
is.
say that because the screening I went to, there was a commentary. There was a Q&A afterwards, and one of the people there was the composer, and they were talking about a way they were trying to put that song in without it feeling kind of forced. Huh?
Oh no, I
So it's
mean,
funny that you feel that way.
I there's no other way to put that song in without it being a song, unless you just have them talk, like the Baloo and Bare Necessities thing.
Mowgli.
Yeah, felt natural because it's whistling. They're on the river. It made sense. But for me, the King Louis thing, he just starts singing to him, and
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you just singing to him? And that's literally the only gripe that I have. And well, it's that and the fact that I feel like Christopher Walken was not to me a great choice for King Louis. I know a lot of people are saying he was really good, but he was like out of all the voice things, I feel like he was the one that I was like, I don't know, it's odd hearing him as King Louis and
Well, he's
singing.
not in it
Not,
for very
I know,
long.
yes, nobody. I mean, Scarlett Johansson. None of the people are in it for long, and it's not like bad. It was just the only one that I was like, I know you're. Everybody else, I kind of got lost in their characters. He was like, oh, that's Walken. Like that's Walken.
Hmm.
You can just tell. And also the kid, like he's okay, but there's moments where he's okay, and then there's moments where he's good,
Right.
but he's
Well,
not.
I think
It's hard for him because in front of nothing, pretty much.
yeah, it's his first like this is the first time we're ever seeing if I can pull his name up.
Oh, I can't even pronounce it.
Uh
I bet. I'm assuming he has an Indian name.
yeah, because Jungle Book is an I believe it's an Indian story.
I mean, the kid in the original was Indian, I believe, so, and it's
Yeah.
based on a book that I believe was set in India.
Um well yeah, if I can
Yeah, I don't have his name now. I don't think so.
hold up, it's coming. Well yeah, well, okay, one thing I'll say, in terms of like how good the movie looks, Ka the snake, I thought was the only animal that looked a little bit cartoonish because the eyes just seemed a little too big for the kind of snake she was supposed to be.
I will say though, that scene was so much better in this movie than it was in the cartoon. Like million times better executed than it was in the animated series. Yeah,
Right.
but to me,
Neil Sethi, yeah,
oh,
I think.
that's not that hard.
Yeah.
The movie's really good. I've been looking at. I was looking at doing a live. I was curious about doing a live action top 10 Disney movies, and I could easily say that this one would be somewhere in that top 10. Disney doesn't have too many great live action movies. They have a lot of really good ones, but
Yeah.
the great ones, they don't really hit that great too often. Like Mary Poppins to me is great. I love that movie. Like they have a few
Yeah.
that are great. But when Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one is almost in there. Then it's like and that's not a great movie. I love Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, but it's not a great movie. It's a fun movie, but it's not.
I'll say it's a great movie,
Oh,
but
you like that
yeah,
movie a lot? Interesting. I prefer
the
Narnia.
first one,
I
yeah.
prefer
Uh
Narnia.
but
So
um but yeah, I think like whenever it's like a movie under the Disney logo, I think their strongest movies are the
yeah,
animated
yeah, yeah.
stuff.
Way,
Like if
way.
you want a live if there's a great live action movie that's distributed by Disney, then that's what Marvel and Lucasfilm do.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, yeah, so the movie made a lot of money. It's going to continue to make money. It's I mean, I'm not even sure what's coming out next week. We'll get to that later, but
Yeah.
it's a fun movie. My theater was. I went to the theaters at 12:30 this morning because I to
Hmm.
try to get to the to like
Wait,
the
12:30 as
and
in midnight?
no in the afternoon. Sorry, like
Okay.
in the afternoon. Um,
I don't want to
and
confuse
when
the people.
I got there about let's say 12:10, sold out.
Hmm.
I was like, all right,
Wow.
wasn't expecting that. So then I was going to an AMC theater, so they have the seats and the assigned seats and all that. So I'm like, okay, I'm here already. Let me just purchase a 2 o'clock one, and I'll come back. When I that my the 2 o'clock screening was almost all sold out. There was literally two. No, there was about 4 to 5 seats available, and they were all in the
Hmm.
front. And I'm like, this is 2 hours
Mm.
before it starts. How the hell is it like so sold out? I guess apparently people are really excited to this movie, which 103 million ain't nothing to laugh for a movie like this. And throughout watching this, I just kept wondering, could they pull off the Lion King? Could they pull off the Lion King like this?
Um, I don't think they need to because this movie really did have elements of Lion King in it, and
Yeah.
that's actually one of the things that John Favreau said when I was at the Q&A that I just got back from was that not only did they look at stuff from the 1967 movie, but they also looked at other Disney animated stuff and they pulled stuff from Bambi, they pulled stuff from Lion King, they pulled stuff from Tarzan, and when he said all that, I was like, so that's why I got images of Lion King in there.
I mean, yeah, there was moments of it, but it's a great movie. I mean, definitely worth watching. Like I've mentioned in the upper part of Disney's live action that doesn't include Lucas and Marvel. It's interesting when I went
Yeah,
to groups and asked about what are Disney's best live action movies. It was just a bunch of Marvel and Star Wars stuff, and I'm like, okay,
that
not by
doesn't really
Marvel,
count.
not by Marvel or
Yeah,
Lucas. So it was fun.
yeah.
Coming in at number 2 is a movie that blew my mind. Not at the money it made, but at the critical reception that Barbershop: The Next Cut received.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
So I like the barbershop movies. I've always liked them. I think they're good.
Okay.
They're not great. They're good. I enjoyed the first one better than the second one. When it's a third one in one of these Ice Cube movies, you're just kind of like, eh. So I was,
Like what Ride Along Deep 3 might
yeah.
be.
But even so, like Ice Cube doesn't nail, like he doesn't nail most of his movies. Most of his movies aren't great. Like they're always, especially the more he has the Jump Street movies, but besides that, what other Ice Cube movies recently have been good? Honestly, like, can you think of any?
Uh, no.
Yeah, he doesn't really nail good movies. It's like he has Friday, then the
Yeah.
horrible sequels, then he has Barbershop and the Jump Street movies. So I was like, I was looking forward to it. I was gonna watch it. Then I saw the critical reception, and I was like, holy shit! But as I mentioned before the show, I struggled to go to the movies this week to watch Jungle Book, so I definitely didn't see this. But I am gonna watch this just because I am very curious as to how every critic thought it was good. Not great or anything, just oh, it's good. Just
Okay.
surprising. So I'm definitely gonna see that. It made 20 million, so that's not bad. Next we have The Boss, made 10.2 million. Uh,
Hmm.
then we have BVS falling
From
down.
number 2 to number 4.
This was like a 60% drop, right, or something like that? Because it made 20
Uh,
something last week. I remember.
it's a 61% drop. Huh?
Made 9 million. This thing is going to struggle to hit the billion. Oh man,
It's not making it. Huh?
you don't think so? Mm.
No,
How,
it's
did it
done.
did it do anything worldwide big numbers or no? Pretty loud. I don't remember hearing.
Um, Let me see where it stands
Well,
worldwide.
I'll say number 5 is Zootopia with 8.2, and that horrible movie Criminal that I had a screening for that I didn't go to on Monday made 5.9, and it's horribly reviewed. And I guess I dodged the bullet because I didn't go to the screening.
Okay, so Batman worldwide, Batman v Superman stands at $827 million.
Oh no, there's no way in hell it's making it. There's just no way.
Yeah, it's over, Johnny. It's over.
But people keep saying that it's when people point out that it's a failure, people keep saying that it's not. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
there's no way it's not.
and by people we mean Dylan.
No, not even Dylan. Like,
No, as in it's like no, it's not a failure.
oh no, I'm talking about people, like people in general. Like I've heard so
Okay.
many people in groups that I'm in. Of course, they
Well,
come off as DC fanboys or Marvel haters, which I hate those. Why can't you love both? But whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, And I'm not saying it's a major failure, but when you
Well,
have these two names, I keep saying this is these two names alone together should be an easy billion. When a
it
movie
should.
with these two names attached to it, then you throw in Wonder Woman, has to struggle to make a billion,
Yeah.
and now it's not even
They
going to make a billion. That's a problem.
yeah, yeah, they forgot the aspect of you got to make a good movie first.
And then
Although it does bring a major question into this.
what?
How is it that this movie, as bad as it is, struggles to hit the billion-dollar mark, yet the Transformers make it at the snap of a finger?
I don't want to say team racist or anything, but when these things go to Japan and China, or China mostly,
Yeah, it's China.
they kill like 400 or so million, and it's a lot of, like, how much did it make in China? Like, I mean, I don't care about that, but it made like a lot in China, like 400
Well,
million in China. Like, it was
the
a
last
lot.
Transformers movie was made for China.
Yeah, so that's why that happens. But yeah, so I keep it's it's like beating a dead a dead horse, dead fish, whatever you want to call it. It's like,
It's a dead horse.
because like I keep telling people it's a failure because of what it is. I don't care if it makes a profit. That's not what it is, because it's gonna make like a 15 million, 20 million, $50 million profit. That's not what you want with these names.
Yeah.
You want 200, $300 million profit, because of that 800, half of it's going to the theaters. Then the rest of it is the damn budget and marketing for the movie.
Yeah,
There you go.
let's go back to Jungle Book for a second.
Yes.
Jungle Book is completely CG, with the exception of Mowgli. Like it's every little thing in it is CG,
Yep.
and it cost $175 million to make.
Which is a lot. I mean, yes, and
Yeah,
but
it's a lot,
but
but
counting the
Batman v Superman,
worldwide, it's already made it, so it's good. It's made that part of
yeah,
it at
but
least.
most of it's live action. It has CG stuff in it, and
A lot.
what CG stuff it has in it, especially Doomsday, is shit. It looks awful, and yet this thing costs $250 million. It's like, okay, you're that money's going somewhere where it's not supposed to be going,
I mean,
because there's
if
no
it's,
excuse for it to cost
yeah.
this much,
I mean,
and look this bad.
we know Disney's killing it with Marvel. They seem to be killing it with Star Wars. Jungle Book is opening Jungle Book, Alice in Wonderland, whatever they're calling that new thing that they're doing with those movies, is killing it with money. They're doing stuff right.
Yeah.
Like we've mentioned before, Warner Brothers, most of the times they're struggling with a lot of stuff. Not just DC. They're like they mentioned last week about, oh, now we're gonna stop doing these smaller things and only gonna go after the big budget movies. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Like they just want the money, and they're gonna just throw money at stuff and hope that it makes a lot. And trust me, Justice League is gonna make about the same amount, and it's gonna probably have the same critical reception because it's the same director. But the problem that I have with this movie is that, yes, early reviews for Civil War came out. They were good. People are getting mad on Twitter or on Facebook. Why are people comparing Batman v Superman to Civil War? It's not fair. In what world is it not fair? In what world is this? Just because one movie does stuff right, and then the whole, oh, critics are getting paid. I'm like, what?
Oh,
Just there's
don't even.
stupidity on the internet. It's funny sometimes.
Yeah, and one of those people, I won't say her name, but it rhymes with Race Grandolph.
Yeah, she says it too. Yeah, it's interesting. It's
Yeah,
just like, oh, she got into a pretty interesting thing with Andy Signor from Screen Junkies.
Oh, yeah.
I read it. I read every single thing. I'm like, damn, this is awesome. Whatever. All right, let's get
it's a shame. It's probably a shame Dylan's not here because he, for some reason, likes Grace Randolph, which she's a crazy bitch. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna go there. I used to watch a lot of. Like, I used to watch her because I thought she spoke well, had an interesting format, seemed to know what she was talking about. But then this year, literally within like the last 4 months, she's just been doing things that I'm just like, and I've unsubscribed, just not been interested. I'm like, I don't get what she's going for. She seems to be going more for whatever the equivalent is of clickbaiting on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which is it bothers me because I have an issue with certain clickbait stuff, but like it
I
bothers me
mean,
when you have so many subscribers. You don't have to lower
your
your
quality.
for clickbait. Like, just
Yeah.
she seems to just
And plus,
say things, and you're like, "Wait, why? Why are you saying like?" And
and
I
plus
still
her
respect her. I still think she has her whatever. But now I'm so not in her boat anymore of agreeing with her or even finding what she's saying interesting anymore because it seems repetitive
I
sometimes that I've just stopped.
Yeah,
But
I can't say I respect her because the points where she lost me with saying gravity is sexist. She like her reason for hating Guardians of the Galaxy was just
oh,
because
I
of one thing James Gunn said. She got she ha, she criticized Deadpool for it being too edgy, too rated R, and that's probably only because her PG-13 petition didn't do anything.
I,
And
but then
I can't.
it's
She's a
interesting.
hack.
It's interesting because like then she hops into Batman v Superman and she doesn't think that that's way too violent and over the top without being gory. Whatever. I respect her for what she does because she made it that far, but she lost me with some of the things she said or she's done that's just been like feels clickbaity and I don't like that. So, and I don't mind
Yeah, I
clickbait when you're
although
small.
I
When you're small and you clickbait and it's kind of interesting and it makes somewhat sense. Okay.
yeah.
When you have 500,000 subscribers and you're doing it, it's like, okay, now you're just, what the hell?
Yeah. Although I gotta say, before we move on to what's coming out this weekend, um, I for how crazy she is, I would pay to see her on an episode of Movie Fights. Huh?
Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna happen because literally, if you go on Twitter and look at the conversation, it's not like they cursed at each other. They said professional etiquette, but it was just like because Andy I think said something about Civil War, how he was so proud, and then she kind of, I think he mentioned like he wishes that WB would do something like that, and she came at it with something and turned it into
Yeah.
something
Well,
amazing. Just like
moving on.
4 to 5 tweets. It was pretty cool. Back and forth. All right, coming out this week. Jungle Book is number one once again. Coming out this week, we have The Huntsman Winter's War, which has a 16% right now. Not sure how many critics that is. Which sucks because the first one was okay, not bad. Some people hated it. Some people thought it was good. Oh dear God, this movie sucks. I'm just letting you know now. Okay, so there's 55 critics have reviewed this thing. It's bad, and it's
Well,
got.
I think it's already out in overseas. Huh?
Okay, so this movie's bad. So yeah, the first one had like around a 50, if I remember correctly. I can't remember right now. Let me see.
Around that.
So not bad, but not great. I mean, it was below good, but whatever. So let me see. Let me see what I have here.
But is there a demand? Was there ever a demand for
48%.
this?
It made 155 million at the box office, so probably yeah.
Okay.
I'm guessing it cost 50 to 60. Hemsworth wasn't that big of a name yet. He had Thor, but he wasn't like the way that he's like. Even though now he did Black Adam,
Yeah,
he hasn't really.
but
had
it
too
did.
many.
But it did. The first one did come out 1 month after the Avengers. Huh?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was filming them together. That's the thing. He had Thor, then he had Red Dawn, Cabin in the Woods come out. Then he had The Huntsman come out, and then Marvel's The Avengers came out right after that.
Well, that again should be noted that Cabin in the Woods and Red
Yeah,
Dawn
yeah.
were filmed at a point before I think we even knew he was going to be Thor.
Agree. So yeah, when it comes to this movie, I was excited to this movie. I was actually gonna say I was excited because I didn't know that there was that many critics. But now that I see that almost every critic has already reviewed this thing, and it has a 16%, and I thought the first one was okay. Like you said, who wanted the sequel? Not me.
Yeah. Or in this case, a prequel,
I
because
mean,
we don't know all those are all good.
Disney will right this wrong, and who knows in about a year, like the way that they're doing with a story that we're going to talk about later. So yeah, this movie sucks. Sorry, I was actually pretty excited to see. I was going to be excited to see this movie. Yeah, the 16%. This is the Winter's War film, which is a prequel to the other one, not a sequel. A prequel where the team was literally the directing team behind this or the whatever team was behind this movie was like, well, we already have Charlize Theron. Let's do a prequel, keep her around, bring back Hemsworth, and add Emily Blunt and Jessica Chastain. Damn, that's a great cast.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And let's put in an element of Frozen because
Kids like
Frozen made money, a shit ton of money.
I'm actually upset though, because I was I thought this movie was gonna be good. At least better than the first one. At least like a 60, high 50.
Yeah, because that's the funny thing. I mean, I'll go to it with the benefit of the doubt,
I might not even
but when
watch
I
this
first
now.
saw that first Snow White and the Huntsman, I thought, okay, I'm mixed about Charlize Theron because there are points where she's a little too over the top, and
Yeah.
like sometimes she's over the top, sometimes she's bland. I don't like Kristen Stewart as Snow White. But I like Chris Hemsworth as the Huntsman.
Are you talking about the
So,
first
and when
one?
I heard they were going to do a spin-off, I was like, with the Huntsman, I was like, okay, take the best element of that movie, and it could work. Shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was excited, not excited. There's really nothing else that's coming out that I will really want to see, but I'll mention we have that
Mhm.
Tom Hanks film called A Hologram for the King. That trailer looks weird and not in a good way.
Huh.
That comes out this week. Not sure if it's limited out. Have you seen that trailer? It's the Tom
I
Hanks in the Dubai desert. He's trying to like sell buildings or something, like construction to build something over there. I don't know what it was, but it was not a good trailer. It looked like a very 90s esque drama
mm,
comedy trailer.
I
It was
didn't
weird.
I didn't even know it existed until you talked about it.
I mean, maybe it'll be good.
But
Nobody's reviewed it yet. Then we also have
yeah,
I'll mention Nina because that's the Zoe Saldana.
Seldon. Oh, that's
Uh,
coming out this
yes, again,
already?
I'm guessing limited as well. It says April 22nd here, but that's the one that a lot of
Yeah.
people are very upset about because of the. I mean, I saw the double toasted video on
Yeah.
the upsetness that they were about this because Zoe Saldana is Hispanic. I think she's Dominican. I
Well,
think she's
she's
Dominican.
not full Hispanic.
I think she is. She's Dominican, I believe. I believe she's full Dominican.
I thought she was half
Maybe
Dominican,
maybe
half
she's half black. I thought she was Dominican, but I could be wrong. Yeah. So, but that's she's a light. Either way, she's a light skinned Hispanic or black person or half black person, and they
All right, well,
are. I mean, you can look it up because I'm not. I believe she's.
I'm doing that right now. You keep talking while I find
Well,
out.
Nina Simone is like this big iconic musician in Black history and all this, and people really have been looking forward to a biopic about her. And what they did with Zoe in this film is they blackfaced her. Like she's covered in like makeup to make her look dark. So because Nina Simone is like she's super dark. She's very dark skinned. She's very black. Like she's it's her. But with Zoe,
Yeah.
she's light skinned, she's skinny, and her facial features look nothing like her. So what they did for her in this movie was gave her her iconic afro, I'm gonna call it. Did some things to her nose, and then kind of covered herself in makeup. And a lot of people have been saying that this trailer makes her seem like she's wearing a lot of makeup. It does not look authentic or good at all. So yeah, I'm mentioning it just because feel like this movie's gonna get a backlash when it comes to
Okay.
things. Is she mixed or is she full?
She okay, it says her mother is Puerto Rican and her father is was from the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, so
So
she's full Hispanic. Yeah, so
okay,
she's full
so
Hispanic. Which
okay, so like criticize all you want, people. I was a and, I mean, I probably even if she was half black, I don't know if I was in the right position to defend it because I'm white.
yeah, but either I mean
But
I'm not. I don't know. I've heard of the Nina Simone music. I've heard of her, but I'm not like I'm Hispanic. I
yeah,
don't know. But either way, you chose to get a Hispanic woman and cover her in black makeup to play a very African person in that's very like it means a lot to the African culture. So
yeah,
not your
but
best things to do. I mean, we have some things that
not
we're
the
going to talk about later that's going to be interesting as well.
I
But
was just gonna say, like, we have a news story that trumps this by a long
it
shot.
almost sounds fake, the story that we're going to get to. I know it's not, but it sounds fake.
It does, but let's
I
like
mean, we can hop to
let's wait.
no, we can well, let's just go through the news. We'll get to it. I have no idea
Okay.
I have no idea what order I'm doing this. I'm just gonna go. So that's what's coming out this week. Jungle Book's the one that you should see. Barbershop 2 or 3 if you
Yeah.
like that. The Huntsman if
Also,
you care to watch it, and some
right.
other limited things that might be coming out.
Yep. Or you could just save your money for Civil War.
which comes out. Well, still 2 weeks. I mean, we'll have to see what comes out the week after
26th.
that. Alrighty then. So, um, let's just start with the one we just mentioned here because I'm not even sure where to start here.
Okay.
Let's get right into the Ghost in the Shell news. So, the Ghost in the Shell is like this really one of the highest praised animes that people and mangas, I believe, that people have been wanting to see on the big screen for a very long time. Not as big as Akira because Akira is like the top that everybody's
Holy
been
Grail.
wanting. Yeah, it's like people
Yeah,
want
so
that
much
for,
so that it's the only anime that the Criterion Collection has ever released.
Yeah.
Well, not in Blu-ray or DVD, but Laserdisc. So they've at least released it at some point.
So when this news was announced, people were already worried when they cast Scarlett Johansson because this is an anime and it's Japanese characters doing Japanese
Yeah.
like it's Japanese characters in an anime. It made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Casting Scarlett Johansson, John Campea said a while ago in a podcast that he never cares about if you take a source material and you put white characters or black characters in it, as long as somewhat the names are changed. Like, don't call like an example in Aloha, if they would have made sense of why Emma Stone was Hawaiian,
Right.
if she was half Hawaiian and had a different name, may make sense. Or in other films,
Or let's take Dragon Ball Evolution. They
Exactly.
hire a white kid to play Goku, but they keep the name Goku.
like if an example in that movie, if that was just his nickname, but his real name was Justin, which is his name in real life. But if that was his name and then they just called him Goku, then you're taking the source material and you're twisting it. So people for this one were like, okay, which I think I heard on like a while ago was if they're doing this and they're taking the character, but they're going to change the name somehow so that it's not like, I'm not sure what the character's last name is, but it's very Japanese. Like, it's a very Japanese name. But then the news came out this week that there was something that when I swear I heard, I thought it was like an April Fool's story. There's no way this is true. There was
A very late April Fool's story.
So Scarlett Johansson was cast as the main character in Ghost in the Shell, which is like this crazy sci-fi, over the top, badass woman kicking ass anime. Like, I'm telling you, like, people love this. It's like right now, all I ever hear about is Ghost in the Shell, Death Note, and Akira, and like my friends that watch anime. And I watch anime, just not big into it. The news story about that, who's doing this? Paramount and DreamWorks were worried about the backlash that this might happen, that they tried to invent or create or do something to Scarlett Johansson in this movie that made her seem Asian. So they gave her the haircut, but they tried to create a technology or something that while she was acting, when it was being rendered onto the computer or whatever, that they would make her eyes and her facial features look Asian. Now, if I hear this, I'm like, no studio is going to do this. And if they are, there's no way this leaks out. There is no way that a studio lets a story like this leak out. This is like...
Too late.
Like, it's like, there's no way. Max Landis, I saw a video that he made, which is interesting.
Oh, God.
I know you're not a big fan of Max Landis, but what he says, like, it was an interesting video. He put it up, and it's talking about this and how it's not, people shouldn't be mad at the studio. People need to be mad at, like, the overall system or something. It was interesting. But, oh, here it goes. It was Ghost in the Shell's ethnicity tests were managed by Lola VFX, the company responsible for Brad Pitt's the Curious Case of Benjamin Button effect. So they tried to use that effect on Scarlett Johansson and make her look more Asian. Then I believe that the actress from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Went to Twitter and she said that she didn't have anything against Scarlett Johansson, but this was a very...
Which one?
May? I can't remember her name.
Ming-Na Wen?
Yes, her. She went to Twitter and she spoke about this. Just in a tweet, she said she has no problem with Scarlett Johansson, but that this is a bit much and that this would have been an opportunity for them to actually, like bring forth a new... Because right now we don't have an Asian star. We don't have a Jackie Chan, a Jet Li that's like prominent, you know what I mean?
We don't have a like really well-known female actress that's of Asian descent.
Or men actually right now, currently.
No, well, no, I mean even throughout uh the history of North American
Oh
film,
yeah, we've never had that actually. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, like you have to go like the only. Oh no, no, actually that's not true. I take that back because we did have people like Lucy Liu,
Oh,
but we
you're
don't
right.
have like someone who's under. We don't have someone who's under 30.
We don't have
No,
young agents. Well, Lucy Liu was
oh,
still
who's really
that was like
prompt.
10, 15 years ago. Lucy Liu was big. She's
Yeah,
not
that's what I'm saying. Like today, we don't have anyone who's under 30. Yeah?
because I think Lucy Liu's on Sherlock Holmes on TV, the Sherlock show or Elementary. I think she's on TV,
Elementary, yeah, she's Watts. She's the Watson character.
which is cool. That was a step forward. I was like, oh, cool. She's Asian and she's a woman. So this people were saying, I've been reading. People were like, this would have been a cool opportunity. You introduce a new young Asian actress introduced to the world in a big blockbuster movie like this. Um, but I believe Max Standard says that for a movie like this, no studio would have taken a chance on it, which I guess is probably true, because
Okay,
there wouldn't be a name. He's saying that it was wrong, but it was like that no studio would take that chance, which just sucks because like why? You could surround an Asian. I don't know.
okay.
Like, do you need like? I get Lucy made like way tons of money, and people are like Scarlett's a star. Don't know why she's a star because Lucy was bad, but whatever. It made a lot of money.
Well, because of Avengers.
Is that why people watch Lucy? Because of Avengers? Really?
I think that's the reason because it came out because it came out after Avengers and Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Interesting. I mean, Lucy's not a good movie though, so
No,
it's
it's not.
it's okay. It's whatever, I guess.
Okay, let me say something. First of all, Paramount, if you were worried about people backlashing about Scarlett Johansson, you might have wanted to cast somebody other than Scarlett Johansson. And plus, anime movies don't make a whole lot of money. Like live action adaptations of
There
anime.
haven't been many that have been attempted because
Yeah. So here's what baffles me. Um, if you if you didn't want to take a risk, like if you're worried about the movie like losing money than making money, you shouldn't cast someone as high profile as Scarlett Johansson. If you
no,
wanted to save some money
I
and stay true to the source material, find a Japanese actress to take on that role, and you won't have to spend a whole amount of money.
you could have made something for 60 million instead of the 100 and whatever million this is going to cost.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they said that
I mean,
they were saying that Scarlett Johansson is not. They weren't saying. People were saying that Scarlett Johansson is probably one of the only real, maybe five female stars that are like actual Hollywood stars that women that bring box office. And they're going based off Lucy because that's the only thing that she has that makes a lot of money. She has not
that's
she has not made anything that's made bank. Like I love Scarlett
right.
Johansson.
Well,
I think she's amazing, but
right,
besides the Avengers things that she's not really a part of that.
right.
We have Lucy.
Well, it's not. We can't count Avengers because those are ensemble
Yeah.
pieces, and even when she pops up in other Marvel movies, she's a supporting character.
I don't know. I mean, this movie is gonna make money based on the trailers and how it looks, and from what the
Maybe not.
based on what it. I mean, it's an action crazy. I mean, but then again, it's an action crazy movie with a badass girl. I mean, people want that.
It is, but sometimes people can smell bullshit.
Maybe.
So,
Yeah, it says
I
that
mean,
this whole thing with the test was happening. They said at the end that the tests aren't a part of the movie. They are, of course, not saying that it was happening, but they're saying that there was no visual effects done on her to make her look any more Asian. These rumors were brought to us by I don't know where it was, but it's just interesting to me. It's like you mentioned, it's like you could have just gotten a Asian woman. Maybe even if you would have made the lead Asian and surrounded her with famous actors that were
yes, like,
white.
dude, like, okay, you know what? This is actually this might be a bad example. Let me say what I was gonna say, and then I'll explain why I think
Okay.
it's a bad example. I was like gonna say, do the Star Wars route, where your lead character is an unknown actress, but your supporting characters are well-known people. But then I realized, well, it's Star Wars.
Yeah,
People are gonna come to it
yeah.
regardless.
I'm trying to think of what other,
So,
but either way, like if you made Tom Cruise the villain, you know what I mean? Like you can get, you can,
uh,
you can have, you can do things like it. And again, I don't know who's in this movie. Maybe the Asian man
Okay,
is. There's an
actually,
Asian character that is a. Is this does this cast have Asians in it? That's the
let
way to
me.
say this.
I actually had it up.
I'm
Um.
trying to see what the hell this movie's about.
Okay, it has Juliette Binoche
That doesn't sound
in
Asian.
it. She was she was in a couple. She was in that one Kristen Stewart movie that was really good. That I heard. I think last year.
There is one
Okay.
Japanese actor. Says from Battle
Yeah.
Royal.
Oh yes. Takashi Kitano, and basically okay. If any of you, this will be something are like most Americans will know. If you ever see the show MXC, it was based off a Japanese game show called Takashi's Castle. This guy is the main star of that show.
I don't know. I love Scarlett Johansson, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And also the character's supposed to be really young. I thought Scarlett Johansson's
And
like
Scarlett Johansson's like
30.
31.
Yeah, she's 30 something. I don't know.
The-
It's literally they're going with a star. I mean, she is gonna. I think this movie's gonna make a lot of money. It's her being a badass, and if Lucy made money, and that movie's whatever.
Hmm,
All right. I mean, if there's nothing
let's
else you
see.
wanna, anything else we can move on.
The last thing I'll say is like sort of a confession. Um, just maybe it's completely random, but like when I was much younger and I would just like watch anime because there was nothing else on to watch. I really would think maybe because it's I grew up with dubbing, but I would always think the characters were white.
I would always think they were American too when I was younger. I didn't even think about like, oh, it's Japanese. No, I would just
Yeah.
this Dragon Ball Z dubbing is just god awful. Like this voice acting
Mm.
is bad. I don't know. We'll see. Like they already fucked it up with Dragon Ball Z. They fucked it up a lot though. If you there's a lot of Japanese based or animes that go to straight to the on demand or to
Yeah,
DVD and
American adaptations of anime.
are just horrible. Most of them. I mean, is there a good one? Fuck, I don't know.
None that I can
I
think
mean,
of.
are there many good adaptations of? I mean, look what happened with Old Boy. They fucked that up too. Old Boy
Yeah.
was a Japanese amazing movie, one of the greatest to me action movies,
Yeah.
and they fucked that up. All right, let's move on.
Probably the
I mean,
yeah, I can't think of
I can't think of a good one. So, all right, let's move on to a fucked up story. To well, not fucked up, but just a weird story. To something that's Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson are circling Jumanji for a reboot.
okay.
And when I heard this, I was like, in what ways? Like, I love Jumanji. I absolutely love Jumanji. It's nostalgic for me, and I love that movie. It's not a good movie. It's an okay movie, but I love that movie. When they said that Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson were circling a reboot, in my mind, I'm like, this is going to be a completely new retelling of the story. There aren't two dudes in the Jumanji movie that are together. Like there is the girl and Robin Williams, and then the two kids. That's Jumanji.
Hmm.
Where do you see a buff ass Dwayne The Rock Johnson and comedian Kevin Hart in any of these scenarios? I don't understand what the new Jumanji reboot is going to be. It's going to be a completely retelling of a new story, obviously, but because like it doesn't make sense. And the fact that you have The Rock in it, I feel like he's going to be some type of badass that comes from that world. What I liked about Jumanji in the original was that a boy got trapped in it and came out like Robin Williams. Now in this one, it's gonna be like a boy gets trapped in it and he comes out as The Rock.
Hey,
Like,
which when you think of it's not such a bad
yeah,
deal.
he's gonna come out like a badass.
Yeah.
But I mean, more I'm like, I guess I wanted them to remake Jumanji, but I wanted them to make a sequel more than anything with Robin Williams. I didn't want a remake. I wanted a sequel with Robin Williams. Now that Robin
Mhm.
Williams is gone, I don't. I mean, do you like Jumanji and do you want this? Like,
I actually never saw it.
what? Jumanji's fun. I mean, it's fun. It's fun for what it is. Trust me, if you watch it now, it won't be as good. It's like when you watch. It's very nostalgic, but yeah. So I'm guessing Sony is liking the Central Intelligence buzz and the chemistry these two have together because they've been doing a lot of press, hosting award shows and things like that, and people like them, and Sony likes them, and they're
I don't.
possibly attaching them for Jumanji.
I don't know. I think Sony was looking more at those Instagram video wars than
Oh,
the
those
actual
were funny
buzz.
as hell, too. But,
Yeah. It's like if Central Intelligence sucks, which it probably will,
it
at
won't.
least we can
I
enjoy those.
guarantee Central Intelligence will be one of the best Kevin Hart movies because The Rock is in it.
We'll see, but at the very least, we'll have those Instagram videos.
Yeah. All right. Let's move down the list here. What we got? What's this? All right. So Thor has cast a new female. Rumored. I don't. Was this?
I don't think this is a rumor.
No. Okay. So
I think this is,
Tessa Thompson was cast in Thor. But the rumor is circulating who she will be playing.
yes.
Okay. So Tessa Thompson is from Creed and Dear White People and something else I can't remember. But those are the two things that I know her from. She was amazing in Creed, my favorite movie of last year. She's really funny in Dear White People, and she can possibly be a star, honestly, if this works out for her.
Yeah.
So, or at least maybe not a star, but a more household name. People will know her name. So Natalie Portman is not coming back for this, and the world said, "Who gives a fuck?" Because nobody cared about her character, honestly.
Yes. Even when last year when I was marathoning the MCU for Age of Ultron, I'm like, I don't see what Jane Foster ever saw in Thor outside the fact that he's hot, I guess. But
And, I mean, but her character is so boring, so boring.
yeah,
And she's so like it's her character. And trust me, I like Thor, but I'm like, why are you here? Like you don't add anything to the movie. And I love
yeah.
Natalie Portman. So Tessa Thompson is going to be. Oh, she was in Veronica Mars. That's the other thing she was on. She's going to be in
Okay.
this film, and the rumors are she's playing Valkyrie. Now Valkyrie is like a badass female warrior that's even more badass than Sif. Like she's like a big deal. So first off, in the comic books, she's white, tall, and blonde. Tessa Thompson is none of. Well, I don't know if she's tall. I don't think she's tall, but she doesn't look tall. So she's black, has black hair, which are
Right.
mostly
Well, you know who else was white
the
in the comics?
dude that
Heimdall.
played by Idris Elba. So.
Yeah.
So
So
wait,
like,
I have a question. Since Idris Elba
yeah.
plays that guy, there any chance he could play somebody else in the movie, in the universe, or no?
I don't think so. Like the only time an actor played another character within the MCU was like it was like a smaller, like very small role in two movies, but there was an actress who played like Captain America fangirl in the first Avenger, and then she played Peter Quill's dying mother in Guardians of the Galaxy. But in terms of like a high profile actor, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Interesting. Okay. So the rumors are going around that the villain for this film was going to be. Well, the rumors are that this movie is going to be some type of buddy cop movie with Hulk and Thor, and the villain was going to be the Enchantress, which is like Loki's bae. Like she's like Loki's like obsessed. She's obsessed with Loki.
Hate that word so much.
I don't know what to call her. Like she's like the love interest for Loki, or she's obsessed
Squeeze.
with Loki. Yeah, she's obsessed with Loki. Which would make sense because the Enchantress is really powerful. She controls a lot of things. Don't know how you include Hulk in that unless you're gonna. I mean, we know that the MCU takes liberties, so there's more than likely they're gonna combine Thor Ragnarok in the comic book story and Planet Hulk somehow.
Yeah,
So
the question is, how does Hulk end up with Thor?
exactly. So now this if this is the rumor about about Tessa Thompson being Valkyrie do feed into the fact that Kate Blanchett is more than likely going to play Enchantress, because Enchantress does she controlled Valkyrie when because Valkyrie was a part of a team called the Defenders. I don't know if she's still part of it, but she was a part of a team called the Defenders. And Enchantress controlled her and had her captive for a while. And if she's in this, I'm going to assume that somehow Thor gets her free, and that's the main villain. I'm just happy that Tessa Thompson's getting work. I'm happy that she's staying in the spotlight. And we have to say that the fact that they cast her as black is awesome, because this is she's a white character, and the fact that this universe is lacking color.
Right.
We have no black female hero. She is one.
Right.
We have three black heroes with Black Panther. Um, so
Yeah,
adding her would make adds to things. I mean, she won't ever be in the MCU or anything, but maybe a Thor spinoff could happen if everything goes well. Since Hemsworth is probably gonna be going away. Those were the rumors for a while. So I don't know. What do you think about this? Anything you want to say
yeah.
about it?
Um, Not much. You pretty much summed up everything I had to say. I think like as I've only seen Tessa Thompson in Creed, and she was really good in it. So it'll be curious. It'll be good to see what she could do with whoever she's playing. Although I gotta say, poor Sif. Huh?
Yeah.
Like for three Thor movies, like she like I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe they were just
What if Tessa Thompson comes in and
friend
like,
zone.
yeah, she's like she's a new love interest for Thor. Poor Sif is gonna be the friend zone again.
No, that's what the stories list her as because
Oh,
because in Thor: The Dark World, like you see like Sif was like kind of like towards Jane Foster, as we all are. And now that Jane Foster's gone out of the picture, in comes this new girl, and uh, Sif is like, God damn it!
I'm gonna be honest though. You can spin off Thor and make a really good spin off movie with the Warriors 3 and adding Valkyrie and several other
Yeah,
characters. You can really spin that
I mean
off into
that's
something fun. Probably
yeah,
more
because
fun than Thor.
maybe because that's one of the things that really bothered me about Thor: The Dark World was because there's a point where they kind of go on a road trip anyway, like Thor, Loki, and Jane Foster. But I was like, man, it would have been much cooler if they brought the Warriors 3 along
Yeah,
because
because you
I
have
wanted to see them do more shit.
yeah you have like the two guys that like are bantering back and forth, always competing, and then you have Sif like I don't know what I mean. It seems more fun. Missed opportunity. All right, let's move on. To something that I'm gonna let you talk about first. And I just want to see what you say. So remember that amazing Avatar movie
Uh-oh.
sequel that we were getting, and then that it turned into an Avatar trilogy, and then people were saying, "Oh, it's probably going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be an Avatar fourlogy." I don't know what you call that, but
Quadrilogy?
quadrilogy.
Quadrilogy.
Guess what? Everybody was wrong because there's four
Mm.
more coming out. James Cameron has
Wait, so
announced.
there's eight?
No, there's well, I mean, instead of the one, there's four after that. Instead of just three or two or one. Um,
Oh, so four sequels, five movies altogether.
yes. Um, so yeah, James Cameron announced at CinemaCon 2016 that he has four new stories to tell or sequels for Avatar. One is hitting theaters in 2018, and the rest are coming out 2021. He had them all laid out: 2020, 2022, and 2023. He was quote unquote saying, he said that the movies are going to all hold their own separately with individual stories being told within them, but that they are all going to be coming together by the end. But every story will stand on its own. Not sure what that means. But he says they're all going to be standalone stories, but that they're going to be connected in some way. So I'm guessing somewhat like the Marvel Universe, how all of them are connected. Maybe the last one will be his Avengers, Avatar Rangers. I don't know. Like he's So yeah, this is happening. I'm curious to see what your thoughts about this, because you do like Avatar. I know Avatar gets a lot of hate. I like it, but you like it more than me, so I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Four new ones.
I really like Avatar, but I think
Four
these
movies.
movies are just coming in too late. Like, because the second one's supposed to come out in 2018, right?
Hmm.
That's 9 years after the first movie. So at this point, even for someone who likes the movie like me, it's like, who cares at this point? Like, it's just like, I mean, if it comes when it comes out, I'll see it. But I don't know. It's just I really would rather James Cameron do something else
No,
that's not Avatar.
James Cameron's in his lower 60s, I believe. So this is going to be, I mean, this is going to take pretty much him into his 70s. 10 years filming these movies.
Yeah.
So 10 years, we won't get anything besides these movies from James Cameron. He says here all the sequels will be filmed concurrently, and each will be a standalone film, which combined will create a complete saga. Cameron said he felt pressure for his sequel, saying he wants to make sure that the first Avatar wasn't just one big fluke. Um, he says that the Avatar 2 was pushed back because they wanted to avoid Star Wars in December, Episode 8. But everyone after that is going to open in December of the 2020, 2022, and 2023. I'm curious because some of the rumors were going around saying that one of his we all know that James Cameron loves underwater deep sea diving and all that, or
Yeah.
movie fans that love James Cameron know that. One of the movies was supposed to be like some type of like underwater world, which sounded really cool to me.
Yeah, I think that's what the second one was because like sometime after the first one came out, he was talking about like having the second one take place in like in the oceans and
That would have been cool.
there was that one there's one movie Sanctum, like this movie he produced that was like 3D
Yeah,
underwater.
that was a documentary, though, right? Or was that a movie?
No, it was like some
Because he has documentaries about
thriller.
that as well. He's on. I've
Yeah.
seen some TV things about
But
that.
he's done like documentaries that are supposed to be like he said that not only were they just documentaries, but they were also research for his upcoming Avatar movie,
Interesting.
which I mean it'll be cool. I mean like if you want to keep up the use of 3D and to make it like really usable, underwater is the way to go. That and space.
What do you go after that? Oh, space. All right, so we got underwater,
Yeah.
then space. What the hell are the other two gonna be? I don't know. I mean, I
I
don't
don't
know if I
know,
want to see
but
that many movies about blue people. I don't know. I mean, it does look. I mean, visually, it's gonna look stunning if Jungle Book looked like the way it does. And we all know James Cameron's always up on technology, and he invented those damn 3D or IMAX computer cameras. I think, right?
the yeah, the 3D cameras.
Yeah. So this will be a whole new step of technology. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but let's. I mean, do people care anymore? Because now there are the Marvel movies in full swing. You got the DC
Yeah.
movies in full swing. You got Star Wars back in full swing. Will people care about
Yeah.
this? Interesting.
It'll be interesting to see if they do, but I mean, yeah, I mean, if you can tell, like when it was my turn to talk, I wasn't that
I
enthusiastic.
know,
So that's clearly a
and
sign
you
that,
like the first one a lot. It's interesting. Um,
yeah, I'm just like, we'll see what happens.
Something else that came out of CinemaCon was that Warner Brothers, as we mentioned earlier in the show, they were talking about they weren't going to be making any more small budget movies. They were going to try to make these expanded things and go and stick with the Harry Potter, stick with the DC stuff, stick with the stuff that makes them money. So, nothing else makes more money like Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe because Warner Brothers is making
Yep.
that. Scooby-Dooby-Doo and Johnny Quest and the Flintstones and the Jetsons and Yogi Bear and the Smurfs. Those things all fall under the Hanna-Barbera license.
Smurfs is it?
Oh,
Wait,
well,
is
Sony,
Smurfs
Sony,
Hanna-Barbera?
Sony owns no, because Sony bought the rights for the Smurfs, so that's gone.
Okay.
Sony might own the rights for Yogi Bear as well. Some of these things might be owned by Sony.
No. Warner Brothers still Yogi.
Okay, well, nonetheless, it's going to be all connected, cinematic universe. Stories will matter to other stories, so that what's happening with the Jetsons, well, the Jetsons and the Flintstones were in the same universe in the cartoon. They did have
Yeah, they
interactions a lot.
yeah they did crossovers and shit.
I heard this Johnny Quest movie. Wasn't there like this been happening? I thought didn't they announce this a while ago where there was going to be a Johnny Quest movie? Whatever happened to that? Was that like some April Fool's
I
bullshit joke?
I would be the last person to tell you.
So yeah, though what it says here, Scooby Doo and the Flintstones, I think appear to be where they're going to be starting. So look forward to that. And there is something saying that no jokes as well, no jokes in this Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. So it's going to be interesting. No, I'm just
Wait, is that a
no.
joke?
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. That would have
Yeah,
been amazing. That
I
would
was-
have been interesting. A dark Scooby Doo. Holy shit, that would have been cool. Like, oh man, like really a real stoner Shaggy. Like he's high as fuck the whole time, like real. No,
Except that
and-
wouldn't be dark. That would be funny.
Yeah, that's true. He gets super paranoid instead. Starts beating on
Yeah.
Scooby. Yeah, so that's happening. I don't really care about this. I like Johnny Quest. I like all these properties. The fact that Warner Bros. Feels that they want to throw money at making them into a cinematic universe. Why the fuck? Whatever. All right, what else we got here? Oh yeah, so remember how Pan was awesome this year? Um,
You mean last year?
or whenever that shit came out, Pan.
Uh, I
Wait,
must have
when did
not.
Pan come out?
Last October,
Dear Jesus.
and
Okay.
it came out in Blu-ray 2 months later.
Yeah, so you remember how Pan was amazing and everybody wanted to, to see it all over again. Don't worry, Disney's here. Disney's going to be developing a live action remake of its animated classic, but they are going to stick to the animated cartoon. They are going to stick to that story, very similar to what happened with Jungle Book, and they are giving the director that they're eyeing for this, according to Deadline, is the director of Pete's Dragon, which is a movie I'm looking forward to, but the trailer for it did not excite me much.
Yeah, I saw an image of the dragon. I'm like,
He has fur.
what the hell is this thing?
It looks like what they call the thing from Harry Potter. What the fuck's it called?
Not a
The damn flying animal thing that's like a bird.
Oh, hippogriff.
Yes, it looked like that, but with like a dragon's face in green. Yeah, so it's being directed by that director. I guess they like what they see in Pete's Dragon. Multiple films have tried to build the success, yes, and they've all done pretty bad. I don't get it. Nobody ever mentions that Peter Pan movie from like 2003 or 4 or whatever, or 5, whenever it came out.
Yeah,
that's a good
that's a
Peter
shame.
Pan. That's a good Peter Pan movie. But whenever I hear everybody says like, "Oh, these movies all suck," I'm like, no, that one is what this was right here. This is that story, and it's really good. It's not a bad movie, but apparently so they've got Jungle Book, they've got Dumbo, they've got Beauty and the Beast, they've got that Genies thing, which I don't know why the fuck that's not Aladdin. Whatever, we're calling it Genies. And now they're going to be making this. So I don't know. I mean, people don't care about Peter Pan anymore.
Clearly.
And yes, the last one was horrible, but that's still going to leave a bad taste in people's mouth. And bad movies make money all the time. The fact that that one didn't means that the people that would want to see it are the people that care about reviews, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Or I mean, like the trailers just didn't sell.
Because the movie was awful. That's the best they can throw for you. They're like, this is all we
It
got.
was.
Here you go.
Well, I mean, also like the idea that the one from last decade, the 2003 one flopped.
Yeah.
I think that's
And
a sign that
that was a good movie.
yeah, like whether good or bad, I don't think people just seem to care anymore.
I mean, they haven't really flopped yet with this. What are they calling this thing? Is there anything?
I don't think there's any real thing to call it. Just another adaptation.
Okay, well, whatever that, because I'm like these adaptations of their classics, whatever they're calling this.
Right. Well, technically, like the original Disney movies were adaptations from other stories, so I think it's just safe to say it's another adaptation.
All right, so, I mean, do you want to see this? I mean, if it's done well, maybe. If it's done well, maybe, but like, it's not a story that you hear and you're like, oh my god, I'm super excited about that. Like, if they were to say Aladdin's happening, Pocahontas is happening, I'd be super excited about that.
I have to see a trailer or know more before I really make a judgment. Like they announced it, anything could happen in between now and then.
All right, we'll say, looks like the front runner for the Young Han Solo film is Alden Aaron Reich. I don't know what his name is. He's from Hail Caesar, Blue Jasmine. I know him from Beautiful Creatures, which is like a young adult romantic movie, which is actually pretty good. I like that. I liked it. Yeah, so looks like they're eyeing him to play young Han Solo. He has an interesting accent in almost every movie he's in. It's always like a southern accent whenever I've seen him. So it's interesting that they've gone with Han Solo. I am cool with them picking him over Egerton, because I already have in my mind set like Egerton. Is that Egerton or Egerton? How do you say that guy's name?
Joel.
No, I'm talking about Kingsman guy. What's that guy's name?
Oh, shit. I don't know. Let me pull it up.
Well, I don't remember what it's like. I don't remember how to pronounce his last name. But yeah, so this is the one that the Han Solo movie is the one being directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. It's Edgerton, right? It's Egerton. Edgerton?
Do you have it up?
Yeah, that's how you spell it. Egerton.
I guess like just
Egerton?
spell it. Just like say it as it's spelled, I guess.
I would say, well, Taron Egerton and Jack Rayner were the front runner, or were in the running. They are not the front runners anymore. Looks like he is. Have you seen Hail Caesar or Blue Jasmine, Beautiful Creatures, any of the films that this kid is in?
I've seen Hail Caesar and I did see Blue Jasmine. Yeah,
All right.
I distinctly remember him from Hail. Like he was actually probably the best thing in Hail Caesar.
That's what I was comparing. I haven't seen Hail Caesar. Do you
Yeah,
like the fact
it's
that he's not like recognizable? You know what I mean? He's a lesser known actor.
yes, because for someone as iconic as Han Solo, you need somebody like that. You don't need you like if they were to cast someone recognizable like Miles Teller, then that's a problem. Especially since it came out that Miles Teller didn't really watch Star Wars
He,
until his
until
audition.
his audition. Thought that was funny.
It's like you don't want that as your new Han Solo.
Yeah, so this is again a rumor. It makes sense because we are in the middle of filming Rogue One still, so there are the rumors speculating that this Han Solo will appear in Rogue One in some way or capacity. Don't know how.
I
Um,
hope not.
I don't know. I was hearing some rumors saying that they would have him. We need something delivered to this place fast. Who's the fastest pilot in the thing? And then I am, and it's Han Solo. I have no idea. It's all rumors. Who knows? Because I mean, we did just get the casting for Darth Vader. I didn't put it on here because it's just a guy, and he's
Oh,
not the
really?
voice.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that wasn't April Fool. No, that was a while ago. Yeah, we got a casting this week about who was playing Darth Vader in Rogue One. Some guy who was going to be
So
in the
it's
suit.
okay.
I mean,
Because like if you get somebody else to voice him, especially since James Earl Jones is still
no, it's
alive.
the guy going to be walking around in the movie.
I know. I was gonna say if you cast a different voice, especially since James Earl Jones is still alive, then
We
you're
we
not too
riot.
bright.
We riot. um, yeah. So I don't know. That's all we have for the Young Han Solo movie.
Right.
All right, let's bust these out. Channing Tatum is in Kingsman 2. Cool. Um, he put on Twitter, "My mama always told me the British gave us Southerners our good manners." That's what he put up, and then it says he put up a thing that said, "I'm about to get all up in this golden circle." Hashtag Kingsman on Twitter. So he's in it. Nobody knows what he's playing, but he's in it. This cast is looking pretty strong. You have everybody that we've mentioned before. You have Julianne Moore, Halle Berry, Egerton, Mark Strong. They also cast Elton John. They also cast Pedro Pascal, who is the Game of Thrones guy. And now you have Channing Tatum, who I'm assuming is going to be one of the FBI agents that works for Halle Berry.
Okay.
So that's pretty awesome. Um, Michael Keaton is in talks to play a Spider-Man villain. This comes on the news that we got the Spider-Man name. It's called Spider-Man Prom Date. Oh, sorry, Spider-Man Homecoming. So Spider-Man Homecoming is the name that they went with. Supposedly, it's because it's like a W. It's like a double meaning. It's homecoming because he's in school, but it's also homecoming because he's coming back to Marvel. It's stupid either way.
Hooray!
I don't care about the name. Just be good. The
Yeah.
rumors came out during the week were that the villain that they were looking at was Vulture. No, yeah, Vulture.
Yeah, Vulture.
Yeah, Vulture. So when I first heard that, have you ever watched the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon?
I have
It's
not.
it's
Okay,
the
you know what?
best Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah, I watched an episode of it, but I have the series on Blu-ray. Just
Okay.
never got around to
So
it.
those of you listening or watching, the Spectacular Spider-Man is hands down the best Spider-Man animated series. I get the '90s one is classic and everything, but
It's actually not.
it doesn't hold up though. The '90s one
Yeah,
doesn't hold up very
exactly.
well. The Spectacular Spider-Man holds up, and yeah, it came out like in 2005, 2006, but it holds up very well. And that first episode is the way that I want them to do this Spider-Man. In that first episode, it's Spider-Man just swinging around the city. He's already Spider-Man, and his first villain is the Vulture. So from the way that the picture logo looks to the villain that they're rumored for to everything, I'm like, please do that format. Do that format where we just start off, he's Spider-Man. We get small 10 seconds flashbacks of what his past was and have the Vulture be it. Michael Keaton being the Vulture makes sense. The Vulture is a in the cartoon and I think in the comics, he's a guy trying to sell technology to Oscorp, and Oscorp keeps turning him down, so he just turns into like this bad dick guy kind of thing. Very typical of what Spider-Man villains are. And Michael Keaton has knocked it out of the park he's knocked it out more often than not. I mean, Need for Speed was in there, and
Yeah.
that's a train wreck. So I'm pretty
Wait,
happy
what
with him.
movie?
Need for Speed. He was like the radio guy in that.
Ugh, I never saw that.
Don't worry, it's bad. Trust me, they didn't make a sequel, so there you go. So yeah, Michael Keaton, if he is in this, I would actually be cool with him playing the Vulture. How about you?
Sure. I mean, outside the fact that in Birdman he kind of looks like the Vulture
Yeah,
whenever he's in that suit.
it's interesting. Yes,
Like it's like it makes you wonder, did they if they're considering him for that role, was it just because of that small scene in Birdman?
like, oh my god, he fits our suit perfectly. It's kind of like the one we're gonna give him. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm still curious about this because the director is John Watts and he hasn't done any comedies, or his movie was really dark. It was Cop Car, and it's the writers of fucking Identity Thief or horror. What the hell's the writers for this movie? It's like some shitty ass writers.
They wrote Vacation,
There you go.
which I know Dylan loved,
Yeah,
but
but it's bad. So yeah, that's a pretty cool story when it comes to Michael Keaton being in that. Steven Spielberg has cast Mark Rylance once more. This is his third casting in a Steven Spielberg movie. He cast him in his Oscar winner, Bridge of Spies. He cast him in
BFG as the lead role,
and
or as the giant.
as the giant, and now he has cast Mark Rylance, or he's in final negotiations to join Steven Spielberg in Ready Player One, and he is going to be playing James Donovan Holliday, who is the creator of the Oasis. Pretty much, he's the Steve Wozniak to Simon Pegg's Steve Jobs. That's how you can best go with what they are. You have the face, and you have the guy behind that. Which makes sense. I mean, Simon Pegg can play up a character that's like co-created, but also very out there in your face, living up the money. And he's not a bad guy though, so he's not like a douche like Steve Jobs. He's a good guy, but still loves his money. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm super pumped about this. This movie is getting closer and closer. Simon Pegg's in it. Ty Sheridan, Olivia Cook, and Ben Mendelsohn is playing the villain. So that's pretty awesome. Great cast. We got the news about the Jump Street movie. We know what the name is. MIB 23. Should have been MIB Jump Street. Whatever.
Shouldn't have been a crossover to begin with.
It's happening. Don't worry. You know you'll love it.
I've actually never seen the 22 Jump Street.
Oh my god.
21 Jump Street movies. I have them, but
once you see them, you're gonna be like, oh, so if this sucks, it doesn't matter because those movies, when they make MIB 23 too, they'll just shit on the fact that the first one sucked because they are very self-aware in those freaking movies.
Some reason I doubt that. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't even know.
There's no reason for a crossover like this to even happen. Like, what does Men in Black and 21 Jump Street even have in common to warrant a crossover?
They are kind of cops in both of them, or spies, or whatever they are.
That's it?
You know what the story's going to be. The 23 Jump Street dudes are going to get a call from the MIB that they are recruiting some people, and these guys are just going to show up, and that's going to be the story. And then they'll introduce new Men in Black guys in there, or girls or whatever, and that'll be the story. I'm guessing. I have no idea. It'll be fun. It's the guy that did the Muppets, and being produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, so it should be fun. All right, so the final things that we're going to talk about. What's this? Oh, wait. Okay, so let's talk about this first. Kevin Feige, during talks with Collider, and they were speaking about the Inhumans. Here it goes. So since we made our initial Phase 3 announcements, we added Spider-Man, which was a big joyous coup for us. He said that. Oh, and they were asking how has all the shifting of dates affected the Inhumans, because that was the last one of the final phase that they announced before anything. And he's saying, as for how long that will be. Oh, that was a shuffle of the current date that it's on right now. As for how long that will be, I'm not sure yet. I don't think it's a good sign when Feige's saying he's not sure about if that date that they have right there for right now is
Yeah.
just like a placement date, but that it might shuffle later on, it might get pushed back again. So this is an interesting story because me and you watch Agents of Shield, and right now in Agents of Shield, the Inhumans are they are the story.
They are prominent.
They are everything. And for those of you guys that don't know, uh, Feige and the guy that heads up the TV division. I forgot what his name is.
Jeff Loeb.
No, it's not Loeb. It's somebody. Is it him? It might be him. Well, whoever. Okay, so
I'm on it.
this is the issue with Marvel, which is weird to say. Feige heads their movie division. They have a primetime TV guy, and they have a Netflix person, which I believe is a female. Um, they all have to play nice with each other, but the guy that has the TV division does not get along with Feige in some capacity. Not like they hate each other, but it got to the point where Feige went to the heads of Disney and said that he wants to report to somebody else instead of this TV guy.
Yeah, it's Jeff Loeb.
Okay, so I thought it was a different name, but yeah, so they're not playing nice. I mean, when Feige says he doesn't want to
Well,
report to him anymore,
I thought the reason fight like I thought because it wasn't so much that Feige was having like beef with Jeff Loeb as much as
Loeb was
like
making
Feige
it.
was just having beef with the guy who's in charge of Marvel, which admittedly we can all say is an
Yeah,
asshole.
that guy. That's what I'm talking about. No,
Yeah.
that guy that's in charge of Marvel is very prominent in the TV division. What's that guy's
Yeah.
name? What's that guy's name?
Uh,
Whatever that guy's name is.
I don't remember.
Well, yeah, because the way it worked is like Feige reported to that guy, and that guy would talk to the TV people, or something like that. And he's very prominent in the TV part of everything. I believe he's like very. He may not. He's very involved in the TV division. That guy, the guy that you just mentioned. I don't know what his name is, but
Yeah, but isn't he the guy who's responsible for saying for the comics no more X-Men or Fantastic Four?
yeah, he's a
Just
dick.
because Fox has
I
the
agree with you.
rights.
He's a dick. And he supposedly Feige didn't want to report to him because he was making life difficult for Whedon and Gunn and a lot of these other directors and the actors. He was just making shit difficult for them when he didn't need to. Feige reported it or spoke to somebody, and now Feige reports directly to the head of Disney or whoever, somebody on Disney's
Yeah.
side directly. So that TV guy.
I think it's Alan Fine. I think it's Alan Fine.
All right, so that TV guy though, since Feige and him don't play nice, I don't think it's Loeb. I think Loeb is the head guy for the TV, but I think there's somebody above
He
him.
is.
But there's somebody else above that he reports to, and that's the guy that Feige's not getting along with.
Yes, Jeff. Yes, there's one guy that everyone at Marvel that everyone reports to, and Jeff Loeb is just in charge of the TV division.
So whoever that guy is, Feige has to go through him to speak to the TV people. It's a big clusterfuck when it comes to that. So Feige's just going to report to the movie people and keep to that. And it doesn't look like Feige's going to attempt to report to that TV guy or the head guy at Marvel that would talk to the TV guy. And there you go. So some people are saying that whatever's happening with the Inhumans on TV, what their words were, is fucking up whatever the movies would be. I don't see how, but they are handling the Inhuman story in a very different way, but that they're not introducing any of the Inhumans that are in the Inhumans movie. They're
Right, like
and
Black Bolt?
they never will. Like Medusa, Black Bolt, they're never going to introduce those people. But as when we mentioned a while ago when this was happening, we said that the Inhumans are just like their X-Men because they don't have the X-Men.
Yeah.
And if you watch watching Agents of Shield, you can tell, oh, these are pretty much mutants. People that get powers and it's mutants. So I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't think this is gonna happen because I don't see how since they would have to play nice. Feige and this guy would have to play nice. Either that or Disney would have to step on that guy's toes and let Feige report directly to Loeb, and that's just not gonna happen. I don't see that.
Yeah.
Disney's not gonna get involved in that way, just like to save to do the TV thing for one movie. And your main star of the Inhumans is Black Bolt, who doesn't speak because he can't speak, which was Vin Diesel's role. And somebody brought up the fact that Vin Diesel hasn't done what he did all of last year. He hasn't done anything for that anymore. So people are like, what does that mean? I mean, he's not doing it anymore, and maybe that means that the
Yeah.
Inhumans is gone. You have Black Panther, you have Captain
Or
Marvel, you have Spider-Man, you have the Infinity War, you have a bunch
yeah.
of stuff that could happen. Ant-Man and the Wasp, another one.
Or maybe he realized that started to get annoying. Something that Tyrese has not catched caught on.
Yeah, he wants to be fucking this guy hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
so
don't. No Tyrese for John Stewart, please.
I want Nate Parker. That's what I want. Yeah, so the Inhumans is probably in trouble. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I'm very much enjoying Agents of Shield. I still think it's a really good show that people. Yeah, the first season was not very good, but if people were to hop on in season 2, I think they would really like it. Um, all right. Anything else you want to say about that or at all?
I mean, if it ends up that Inhumans is scrapped as a movie, then I don't think it's a huge loss
Okay.
because again, like they're not that well known among mainstream people like myself.
I don't. I barely know them.
I mean, you could save it for Phase 4. Like, don't make Inhumans part of Phase 3. Like,
Any
have
chance?
Infinity War be the finale.
Any chance in hell Daisy makes it into the movies?
I feel like the only way they'll include her is if
She's the only one. Her and probably
the,
Coulson will be the only ones that could make it. But
is the only way they'd include her is if the guy who's in charge of Marvel resigns and they get someone nicer.
I mean, because if we think about it, the only way to, unless you're gonna do a Guardians of the Galaxy style thing where you don't really interact with Earth, and more hand to
Yeah.
be on that planet, she is the head of the Inhumans. So it would just be interesting if they don't include her.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All
See what
right,
the future has in store.
we're gonna talk about some trailers. Well, not really. No, we're gonna discuss a few trailers.
Yeah.
So there were two trailers that we're gonna talk about. One is Doctor Strange, and the other is the Japanese Godzilla film called.
Godzilla Resurgence.
There we go. Um, I did a reaction video for Doctor Strange, and I got a lot of hate. It's got like 15 downvotes for some reason because I didn't think it was the fucking best thing in the world, and I jizzed on the screen. So I saw this trailer, and I said in my review, I was like, "It's meh. It's okay. It's not the greatest. There wasn't like this big thing about it. I thought it was gonna have a more of a scarier vibe to the film or a suspense vibe to it, and it was very much. People have said it felt like an Inception trailer, but I mean, I think it feels like an Inception trailer or a. It doesn't feel like
It kind of did.
it doesn't feel like a Marvel movie, but it does feel like a non-Marvel movie with a dab of what Marvel would give you. That's how I felt. There was no a big awe moment. I wasn't wowed by like. I saw reactions and people were like loving all the like effects, and I'm like, I've seen them all before. They're cool in other movies, but I'm not like jizzing my pants for them. So yeah, I thought it was an okay trailer. Um, uh, Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, has like two speaking lines, and his accent is really weird. He's like talking
His
like
American accent.
he's like he has like a very Christian Bale Batman.
I don't think he does. Huh?
It was very raspy. It was a raspy
Huh.
ass voice for me when I heard it. I was like, dear Jesus, what's wrong with your voice? Yeah, so I don't know. I thought the trailer was fine. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but then again,
Yeah.
I didn't love the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer when I first saw it,
Yeah.
which is interesting. So I hate my Batman v Superman gets me a shit ton of down likes and calls me a Marvel fanboy, but when I trash or when I say I don't love the Marvel trailer, I think what was one of the quotes? Go back to being a DC fan, you fuck. I'm like, but
Really?
I was just a Marvel fan the other video.
Damn.
Oh man, it's amazing. Yeah, so what did you think? I mean, did you like the trailer? Did it wow you? Was there anything that you were like, oh my god?
I thought it was. I think I seemed to be a little more positive than you, but I mean, the trailer looked cool, but I don't have much to say about it. Or I don't have much enthusiasm about it because I don't know that much about the character of Doctor Strange. So I'm just kind of going to it like, okay, this is kind of cool. So I mean, we'll see what happens. Like the first trailers for anything, um, like sometimes, like you said with Guardians of the Galaxy, it wasn't all too impressive. Um, in fact, I mean, as much as I love the Avengers, as much as I was looking forward to the Avengers, even that first trailer wasn't all impressive. Not the one they had at the end of first Avenger, but the first like standalone trailer. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it has potential to be good because Marvel hasn't really had a disaster of a movie. I mean, their worst one is Thor: The Dark World.
Okay. Um, all right, let's head over to another trailer, which is the one that you would mostly know everything about, and it's the Godzilla Resurgence trailer, which is the Japanese trailer. I actually saw this
Yep.
trailer, and I actually really liked it. I like the design of Godzilla. I like the tone set in the trailer. Um, I very much enjoyed the trailer for what it was. I mean, I'll let you go first. That way you can give your because
No,
did
you
it.
you
You did
keep
it.
going because you keep going, then I'll like say a little bit because as you said I already did a full review of this trailer, so I'm
Well, I mean,
curious to know what you think of it.
well, I like the look. I like the it look seems to have a pretty good production value behind it, which is good. Um, I thought whenever it comes to like the person in the suit, which is what there is a person in the suit, right? At parts of this trailer, if I remember correctly.
They said it was they were going to do a mixture of suitmation and CG.
Yeah, so uh, I thought that design was going to make me kind of be like, but to me, it didn't stand out like in any bad way. I like this, like the looks of everything. I like the Godzilla looks very menacing, very scary, even like scarier than the American Godzilla that we just got. Um,
Hmm.
as for a trailer, I mean, it was a Japanese trailer, so I couldn't really get the dialogue well. Um,
Well,
so
there was no dialogue at all.
no, there was some people. Wasn't there a
There was
girl?
there was text, but there was none of the actors were speaking.
Oh yeah, so I mean, so yeah, so didn't couldn't read through the text or anything. So I was just going based on the tone. It seemed cool. It seemed dark. Are they usually like dark like this? It seemed like a darker. I thought they were more had comedic elements to them.
Well, okay. The original Godzilla from 1954 was a very dark film. It
Okay.
was basically a commentary on post World War II Japan, and Godzilla was a metaphor for the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, the fact that it was made by a country that experienced that tragedy firsthand is a definite reason for it to be dark.
Okay.
Most of the Godzilla movies have been very like there have been most of the Godzilla movies from the 60s and 70s have been very comedic and child friendly, yeah. But the Godzilla movies from the 90s and the 2000s have been enjoyable for everyone, but were more serious where Godzilla wasn't necessarily a good guy or a bad guy. Like mainly in the 90s, he was just like
Is
on
this
neutral ground.
is this a sequel or is this a full blown like retelling of that original story?
This is a completely new retelling, or if they do what they've done in the past, it'll be a direct sequel to the 1954 version, ignoring all of the other movies. Because whenever Godzilla's been rebooted in Japan, that's what they've done. It's like we're ignoring everything except the original.
Has when it comes to the cinematography and the shots, have they always looked like this crisp? Like there are some really good shots here. Like there's a shot with the tanks. There's a shot with Godzilla in the distance, and he's glowing, and then you can see the city. There's there's like some really amazingly good looking shots. So I'm just curious. Is that always like the
Um,
value or production value that they put behind it?
some like probably the first one was the one that had the best cinematography because it added to the grim mood of the film.
Okay.
But the best Godzilla movies have been when they're really about something. I mentioned the original was a commentary on post World War II Japan. And then there was a movie from 1984 called The Return of Godzilla where it took place during the Cold War. So it made sense to bring Godzilla, which is basically a walking nuke, back into the picture. And then there was one from 2001, which had Mothra and King Ghidorah, where Godzilla was another metaphor for World War II, and that was really kind of creepy. So
When
whenever the
is
movie's like,
I was gonna ask, when does this come out over here? Like, is there a date? I know there's a date when it comes out in Japan, but is there a date when it's gonna come to us where we're gonna have some? It says, oh, July
it
29th,
said
U.S.
there was a
and UK.
story. There was a story that it was going to be released on DVD and Blu-ray in 2017. So
Here it
that's
says,
probably the latest we're going to get
in
it.
this article, it says Resurgence arrives in Japan on July 29th, 2016. Oh, and then UK and US releases are yet unannounced.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, it looks cool. I mean, I think that when this does come out, I think that I mean, I think we should like make a. I know you're gonna watch it, but I'm gonna try to make an effort for
Oh shit.
watching it as
Yeah.
well. When it comes to release, so
If
we could talk about it.
yeah, if there's a way I could see this before it arrives on DVD, that would be here. That would be awesome.
I
Because
mean, there
I mean,
might be there might be a way to get it through like some like contacting them directly. Try like some press type stuff. You can show them your backlog of all Godzilla stuff, and they probably will let you do that. You just have to figure out a way
well,
to contact them. And
here's the here's probably my window to seeing this early. Okay. The For those of you who don't live in Los Angeles, there's the Egyptian Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, which is also known as the American Cinematheque. In the last decade, when the third Godzilla series was still going on, they would have these giant monster movie marathons where they show a bunch of Toho monster movies, and then the last two they did. The both marathons ended with the U.S. premieres of the last two Godzilla movies Toho made, which were Tokyo SOS and Final Wars. And then 6 months after that event, the movies would come on DVD from Sony. So if the American Cinematheque were to do this again, that would be really cool. And I even talked to last year, no, 2 years ago, I even talked to a couple of people who were in charge of those events. So
that's your way in, hopefully.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm considering writing a letter or trying to do it. I'm considering doing a video that's like an open letter to try and do this again, so American Godzilla fans can see the movie earlier than its DVD release.
Sweet.
Because Godzilla fans are an interesting bunch, like for better and for worse. There are some things that I love about the fandom, but there are other things that just drive me nuts.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, everything about it looks cool. It looks like it looks menacing.
Yeah.
Looks like the kind of Godzilla I would want. And they don't. The mix of CGI and practical seems to blend well. So I'm
Yeah,
actually pretty cool talking about.
okay, I have one more question because this is there have only before this there have only been two Godzilla movies where he's been on his own without fighting another monster. How would you feel about Godzilla just being on his own this time around?
Oh wow!
Because I
didn't even think about that. Holy shit! Yeah. What is he gonna fight in this? Oh my god.
I think it's just going to be. I think he's just going to be on his own because I feel like if he were fighting another monster, they would have announced it already because
Yeah, but
Japan because in going back to like the past with Godzilla stuff, Japan has not like really doesn't care about spoilers because when the last Godzilla movie from Japan to be released in the United States was Godzilla 2000, and in that movie it was kind of when it came out in the US. It was a surprise that Godzilla was going to be fighting another monster, but in Japan they showed the monster in the advertisements a couple of times. So I mean that's why I said like if in my trailer review I said since Godzilla's on his own this time, you have to make like this Godzilla be a metaphor for some disaster that's going on in Japan at the moment or some worldwide crisis because that's what the first movie and the 16th movie were about.
But then
and
he's going to be the bad guy throughout the whole movie.
yeah, and I mean Godzilla more often has been the bad guy than he's been the good guy.
Interesting.
Like
But then what?
okay, like
how do you redeem him at the end if he's ultimately the bad guy the whole way through? if he's not gonna save,
Um,
if he's not gonna be able to save anybody from a monster. You know what I mean? Like adding a separate monster
well,
like would have him help redeem
okay, well,
himself.
I'll pull in the '90s era.
Okay.
Um, the in the '90s movies, like I'll take a couple movies for examples. Godzilla versus Biollante and Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Like more Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Like he was still he was still a bad guy in the sense, but he was the lesser of two evils. Huh? The same thing that goes with that movie for Godzilla 2000. It's like he's not a hero per se, but of the all the monsters in the room, he's the lesser evil. And then when you get to a movie like from 2000, a movie from 2001 called Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. Like there are three other monsters besides him, and he's definitely the bad guy.
Interesting.
So I think if they introduce new monsters, it'll be more of a he's still bad, but he's the lesser of two evils.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we'll see when we were able to see this over here. I mean, at least
Yeah.
you, and you'll probably get to see it before anybody of us at
Yeah.
least. All right.
I'll be
Well,
reviewing it the second I see it.
all right then. So let's head over to Blu-rays and see what's coming out there, and see if there's anything worth talking about.
There's a handful of stuff worth talking about. Well, I mean, there's one in particular, the main release of the week, which is the movie starring the now Academy Award winning actor Leonardo DiCaprio, which is, excuse me, The Revenant.
My screen froze. All right, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's The Revenant. Yep. Which is a movie I still haven't seen.
You should see it.
No, I know. It's just every time I'm gonna go rent it. I'm like, dear God, it's so long. It's like this is gonna be my. I guarantee this is gonna be my Interstellar for this year, where I've watched everything else, and this is just the one that I'm like, ew.
Oh. Yeah, it's okay, so The Revenant, just to put it simply for people out there, it's the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio gets raped by a bear. I mean, it's a little more. There's a little more than that, but that's the thing. Like people joke about mainly.
Yeah.
But
If you
it's
didn't know, The Rock and Kevin Hart just made a shitty song about it, and it was oh so funny at the MTV Movie Awards. It was so funny. Can't you tell? It was
I detect
funny.
I detect a hint of sarcasm.
It was so stupid. Like, they were just rapping,
But
and they're like, "And Leo got fucked by a bear, and Leo
well,
got
it
fucked
is
by a bear," and I'm like, "Oh my God."
well, it is the MTV Movie
Yeah, I
Awards.
know.
So
What should I have expected?
what did you expect? But I mean, this is a really very impressive movie. Not one of my favorites of last year, but it's mainly known outside of the fact that Leonardo DiCaprio finally won an Oscar. It's most famous for the decision to use natural lighting by director Alejandro Iñárritu, which meant like they could only film for like a couple hours. They spent a ton of money on this movie just because they could only film for a certain amount of time. But I mean, because of that, it looks beautiful, and I guess if it gains you an Oscar win, then that's good. And then the performances are really good. Like we mentioned Leonardo DiCaprio, but Tom Hardy is in this movie, who's also really good. And then the scene that everyone talks about it's done with a CG bear, and even though it's a CG bear, it is very well done. But but aside from that, the movie doesn't really stand out in terms of like CG effects because even though it's a really great looking movie, it's very easy to tell when there's a CG effect. Like it really does stick out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really say much about it.
Yeah, I mean yeah, I mean we'll say it's really good, and if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth checking out at least once. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying Leo should have won an Oscar for some other movie and not this. And to an extent, maybe, but the fact that
It's all dependent on the year come out.
it does, like, in the end, it ultimately results in, like, how much competition there is.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of scenes in this movie that requires him to act without dialogue, which is really compelling. If you are an actor who can get away with that, then you've really done your job well. So The Revenant, really good. Definitely recommend it. So,
I mean, I don't see. I mean, I see one more thing that we can mention. I mean, what else? What else were you planning on mentioning here? 'Cause I can-
well, from one bear raping movie to another bear raping movie, there's Norm of the North, which is
that movie's horrible.
none of us saw.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there are
But,
two. There's two shitty movies down here. Norm of the North, 50 Shades of Black.
and
Two
yep,
movies that both suck equally.
but
For
one of
different.
them spawned a really entertaining double toasted review.
Oh wait, I saw the 50 Shades of Black one. I didn't see the. Did they do a Norm of the North review?
They only did an audio review. They didn't do a video review.
Yeah. So
Or you know what? I guess technically, if you're an actual subscriber on their site, there is a video review, but they just didn't make it into a video review for YouTube.
oh, okay. Yeah. So both of those movies are pretty bad. I have heard of this movie, The Lady in the Van. I heard that's pretty good.
Lady in the
Maggie's.
Van. I'm not
Maggie.
seeing that.
It's right above Norm of the North.
Okay.
I heard that's really good. I don't know what it's about, but I heard that's pretty good. Uh, Silicon Valley complete second season is out. That's a really good show.
Yeah. Veep, the
Viva's a
season
really
four.
good show. Um, Ip Man 3. I've heard that he's in Donnie Yen is in this. He's in Rogue One.
Yeah.
He is essentially the Jet Li, Jackie Chan of over there right now. Like he's that popular. He makes these amazing martial arts movies. I haven't seen any of them, but I've just heard like
Okay.
amazing things about him, and I've seen clips and things on YouTube. If you just look at him, his fighting style, he's he should have been over here when Jackie Chan and Jet Li were over here because he's about their same age, but he's still in tip top whooping ass shape. So that's all I keep hearing.
Right
I
on.
think
Then-
JTE on the Schmoes praises him, or one of them praises him a lot.
Okay. And then there's Barcelona from the Criterion Collection, which I've not heard of.
1994.
And yeah, and then there's Love 3D. Is this that 3D porn movie that I heard about like years ago?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think I even want to get into it. Huh?
I don't know. Now I'm intrigued. So, a sexual
Okay.
melodrama about a boy and a girl and another girl. It's a love story which celebrates sex in its joyous ways.
Okay.
I don't know what this is.
And then the only things that are worth mentioning now are the only thing that really I would say is worth mentioning for like fans of older movies is the Doris Day and Rock Hudson romantic comedy collection, which is basically a box set of 3 movies that star these two actors in their Pillow Talk, Lover, Come Back, and Send Me No Flowers, which I actually reviewed Pillow Talk on my channel. So
Cool.
audience members out there, you can go check that out. But I think that's it. So there's some more interesting stuff coming out next week, but for the rest of the month, there's not much worth talking about.
Very light month. All right. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Nothing we can really mention here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Alexander, want to pimp out whatever you're working on?
Absolutely. You can find me on YouTube at The Real Mr. Robinson. I have links to my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, Periscope, and Riff.tv accounts. You can go to... I'm still doing my Arkham Knight... Arkham Asylum playthrough. I'm coming up on part 10, which should be up on Tuesday. And we talked about the Jungle Book, I haven't recorded my review yet as of this recording, so I'm hoping to do that once we get off the show, and so I can have that up hopefully by tomorrow or Monday, because um, so I'd like to do that. And one last thing, I keep promoting this on my at the end of all my videos, but my friend Catherine Diaz, who's on a couple of podcasts with me, is starring in a fan film called A Faithful Companion, which is a Firefly fan film about a companion that falls in love. And they have an Indiegogo campaign that's going on that's only 11 days left. So you can go to Indiegogo campaign and find A Faithful Companion. If you're a fan of Firefly, or if you know people who like Firefly or fan films in general, you should definitely share this and donate if you can, because there was only 11 days and they need your help in funding the film. But that's basically, I'm just promoting that for her, and that's about it.
Cool. What's the fan? What's the Indiegogo again? Just in case.
A Faithful Companion. You just go to Indiegogo campaign, blah, Indiegogo.com/projects. You know what? I'll just put it when you put this up on YouTube. I'll just Skype you the link so you can put it in the description.
All right, sweet. All right, ladies and gentlemen. For me, you guys know the deal. I make wrestling stuff on Mondays, and I always promise saying I'm gonna make a top 10, and then I just never do. So, letting you guys know, in the process of a Batman one, in the process of a live action one, in the process of like 10 other ones, and I'm also in the process of possibly making a Game of Thrones one, just because Game of Thrones starts this week. So if any of those come out, awesome. Be on the lookout for the page on the channel, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully, Dylan will be here, and we'll be able to talk more about movies. So pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get out of here. See you.
Goodbye, everyone.